extra cards. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. And
Kelly Collins, a great partner up in the Somerville office. When you're in there, make sure to stop by, say hello. She has an office in the Somerville office. So again, if you're up there, say hello. She's probably on the Zooms. Kelly Collins. And she's awesome. So make sure to stop by and say hello. Go to the bucket. All right, you're already almost over. We're basically halfway through the year. It's craziness. There's been a lot of good things that have happened this year, and we can't have good things without good people, right, in our lives. So, whose bucket do we want to fill? Just tell me something good. Let's do three of them. Who's up?
I have one.
Okay.
I don't need that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you
I am so trying to say that either. I take it back. I don't have any.
No. You already spoke.
I forgot about the camera. I won't raise my hand again. Mine is actually for Tiffany
Oh, boy.
because she has, you may have heard there's a formula shortage. You also may have heard that I have a 4-month-old granddaughter who's allergic to milk. So she can only have one kind of formula and it has to be liquid. It can't be powder. So she goes to the grocery stores. Anytime she goes by one, takes a picture, sends it to us to see if any of it, and sends it to the whole group in Charleston. So it is and she probably would have come about me today if I had to get arrested at Publix.
Which she almost did. It's fine. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. We'll table that
Tiffany is going above and beyond to try to help these mothers and grandmothers find this formula. It's just.
Let's give her a hand.
Put yourself on the camera? Nope.
Only for you.
One of the things that we're going to talk about
Oh, I don't want to be in it.
when we're talking with Jan is this concept of servant leadership.
Hold on, let me do this.
Clearly an example every day of servant leadership. So let's give Tiffany another hand.
Oh, boy. Ed.
My gratitude is for you, Vince, because I sent out an SOS to you like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to get the little thing in the back of my throat. I needed somebody to talk to and I was in a bad place. And you made time in your schedule and you cleared away and it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I was in there for like 2.5 hours. And what you pour back into us can't be replicated. I'm very grateful for what you do for us and that I was able to send out an SOS and somebody hear it. So thank you.
A lot of people feel like that, so I appreciate it. Who else? Give us one more. Is it you?
Oh, boy.
Let's hear it.
I guess so.
Oh.
Yes, this is for Sarah. I was looking for someone to draw a floor plan and she came up with a person and made an appointment and it was smooth as can be. So I have a great group of office mates.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
Thank you, Sarah.
You do.
Give her a hand. Josie?
I won't name, well, I'll miss somebody. So I'll just say everyone that was involved in the planning and execution of Red Day. Red Day was awesome. We had a great time. I hear this room was awesome with getting everything loaded up for the hygiene kits. And then we had a great crowd over at the Development Center. And also, well, I will give a special shout out because I know Greg is doing some follow-up with the painting because we weren't able to complete the painting. And it turns out that when you have 70 realtors in a small space to paint, that not all of us are good painters. So there might need to be some touch-up work that's going to be done.
By a professional.
By a professional. So I appreciate Greg and his team for doing that.
I'll tell you, let's give him a hand. Yeah, they went off without a hitch, and
There's a few hitches.
so many to name, but all the agents that took part in it.
Few hitches.
We had like 100
Not
people.
zero.
And it was such a beautiful thing to see the market centers, the whole KW family come together and serve the community. It's a beautiful thing. I know that the room that me and Stella were in, that room is immaculate. So there are
The
no
cutting in
problems.
especially.
Listen, the cutting in.
Yeah.
Troy and I had. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I was talking about the rest of it. Yeah. I said I'd never really painted without pizza and beer. Kind of a weird experience.
So sober painting, new experience for you.
Yeah, it was cool. But it was fun. Good stuff. All right. April listings taken. Love it. Chucktown Homes leading the way. Scott Baskin right behind. Let's give a huge hand for these individuals. Listings are tough to come by. These numbers are proof that they're out there, right? And when we do the work and we do the hard thing, everything else becomes easy. When we do the easy thing, everything else becomes hard. And I empathize. I get it. We all get it. Finding listings right now in this particular market is a difficult thing to do. When you do it though, what happens? Good things, because now the next one's probably April listing sold, right? I bet a lot of these things are up there. Am I right on that?
Press the button.
We'll see.
Bada bing, bada boom. Take listings, sell the listings. This is great. Chucktown leading the way because it took much listings. So let's give a huge hand for these individuals. There you go. April closed units, Chucktown. There they are again.
Exhausting.
So tired of saying that. Yeah. Somebody please.
Now I know why I don't.
Go. Donald was here last week. It was so fun.
I know, I sat next to him, remember?
No.
That's all. Come back.
Is that something Vince would remember?
April closed units. Huge congratulations to these individuals crushing it in this market. Let's give them a hand. Production leaderboard, Michael Prince. Everything on the left side, April. That's April month to date. Everything on the right, year to date, through April. So huge congratulations to these individuals. Michael leading the way last month, and couldn't seem to take Trenton off the top. Year to date, they're sitting in the same office. They don't like to participate, but somebody please beat them. So, congratulations to all these individuals. It's awesome. All right, teams and groups. Huge congratulations. This is some serious production. Helping a lot of people, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I remember just 3 years ago, these numbers were way different. It's a beautiful thing to see the amount of business that this group is doing, the amount of people that this group is helping. And that's what happens when great minds come together, right? Great minds come together, great ideas happen, great action is taken, and a lot of people are helped. So huge congratulations to these teams and groups for amazing. Profit share. I hated working with this.
You got knocked off?
I got kicked
You
off.
got kicked off?
Totally kicked off?
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It means it's not getting built through me. It means it's getting built by these individuals, bringing in amazing people. Jeremy, Winnie, Kathleen, Jessica, Joseph, Alan, Ronnie, Maggie, Celeste, and Dustin. Let's give them a hand. So,
October.
yeah. Terrible competitor. Do you know that? Real quick, go back. Who knows what profit share is? Awesome. It's awesome to see all those hands. What is it? Who wants to tell us? Go ahead, Jack.
What Maggie do? So I didn't raise my hand. I have no idea.
Profit share. Oh, you're gonna read the whole thing.
Yeah. there you go.
Profit share is when you share the love of KW, people join, and when they're successful, we're successful.
Absolutely. 100%. Let's give him a hand. He did great. 80% of the profits that are generated from market center level are shared back to the agents that generated that profit. It's an awesome, awesome thing. And it's real. If you ask Winnie, she got $1,600 in her bank account last month, right? From profit share. So it's a beautiful thing. It definitely changes lives. Not only does it change your life, it from a passive income standpoint, changes that individual's life. Because if we went around this room and we all said whether KW has changed their life over the last year or so since they've been here, I bet a large majority would probably say yes. And just starting that conversation and then passing them over or connecting them to myself, Winnie, Jessica, anybody on the leadership team can really open a conversation. And that's all it is opening the conversation to see how KW could potentially help. It's not recruit, it's conversation and relationship. Because the last I checked is real estate's a relationship business, I think. Right? So that's all it is, creating conversation. So congratulations. What's next? Cappers,
Same.
is this the same?
I just need to
format
like.
every time? Look at all these individuals. Let's give a huge hand to all these individuals. Cappers. Got a few of them in here. Bobby's in here, Maggie's in here, Patty's
So
in here,
ridiculous.
Tony's in here. A lot of hair.
Tony's in
Let's give them a hand. This is awesome.
Yeah.
First closings. Congratulations. This is like this every time.
Names are on the right.
A huge congratulations. Their first closing here at KW. Let's give them a hand.
Woo!
By the way, I want to make a quick point. Can you go back to the individual production leadership board? I was looking at this earlier, and there are a couple people on here in our top 10 year-to-date and month-to-date in April that are in the career development program, which is an epic, epic thing. Elizabeth Brown in the career development program came from new home sales, 2.5 million year-to-date. And Eric Romanowski, 961,000 in the month of April. I don't think I missed anybody, but if I am, they're on there. But let's give them a hand because that's awesome. Change their lives. If you're interested in it, go talk to Delisha. She's a rock star. She goes in there. Welcome to the family. Patrice, Michael, Layton, Crystal, Chris,
Shania.
Janaya, Lisa, Kimberly, Justin, Aston, and Troy. Let's give them a hand. You see them around. Give them a KW welcome. Man, happy birthday. It's Gary's birthday today.
He's in Jamaica.
He's in Jamaica. So make sure to post on the Facebook page, say happy birthday to him. If you see him,
Stories.
give him a big high five. But let's say a huge happy birthday to all these
Woo-hoo!
individuals. All right, Jay, come tell us about YP.
You have a video too?
We don't have the video.
When?
This morning.
Email?
Yep.
We'll get it on the recap.
Well, that changed everything.
Come on, pivot, you know how to talk.
So I want to talk to, so she's gonna send out a video about why YP. I get up here and talk all the time about YP. I wanted you guys to hear from some other agents around the country about why they YP. So that's what that video is. But I also do want to talk about May 25th. I believe that's next Wednesday. Is that right?
Correct.
Is KWYP orientation. So if you're curious about KWYP or if you're new to KWYP, this is a really great opportunity for you to plug in to see what is available to you through that segment, through, you know, across the country. There's a lot more than just what we do here locally. So there's a lot of value added, and that's what the orientation is designed to do. We've been talking for a while about our KWYP National Summit. We have action-packed lineup for Nashville. There are still some slots available. I believe we have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 60 or so slots available for that. If you haven't booked your travel, please do. And then our next chapter meeting is going to be on, I can't see the little thing there.
6/14.
On June 14th, it's a Tuesday at 4 p.m. We just this past Tuesday, we had Justin,
I don't know how to say his name.
Myers, Justin Myers from Knoxville, Tennessee. He was in
Myers?
town sharing with us about how to build wealth in real estate. We had a really great mastermind conversation about that. And we've got a big lineup through the summer as well. So be on the lookout for those dates. We'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, want to join us, let me know.
Why do you YP?
Why do I? That's a really good question. I'm trying to get emotional about this because for me, it's actually a bit bigger thing. You know, like for me, it's really interesting. My story with YP, I was at a point, Vince and I had gone through some breakthrough moments, and he had challenged me to go to Mega Camp. I was like, why would I do that? You know, I'm thinking about leaving. Why would I go spend all this money on this conference? And I went to Mega Camp, got involved with some of the YP group, and that was 3 years ago now. I raised my hand when we were launching our chapter to say, hey, I want to get involved, primarily because I'm a firm believer that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And not that there aren't amazing people in this office, because there are, But one of the things that I learned is that when you talk to people outside of your market, oftentimes they're willing to share even more than what the people are in our market. And so you are able to collaborate and get to know people on a little bit deeper level. And so for me, 3 years ago, I raised my hand and said, hey, I want to be part of KWYP. I didn't know what it was, didn't know what it meant. And fast forward, now I'm the president of the chapter. I have 35 really great friends around the country who I talk to, if not weekly, almost daily, about how we're growing our businesses, how we're living our lives, and how hopefully we're becoming better humans in the process. So that's why I YP.
It's good, man. I'm in YP. I YP. Because I believe that we're some of the 5 people we spend the most time around. And I want to be around people that remind me of my future, not around people that remind me of my past. And those individuals, some of those individuals are big thinkers, and I like big thinkers. And if you want to continue to expand the way that you think or expand your business or anything, I believe that it starts with the way that you think and the people that you hang around. So it's a great group, especially here locally. So if you're ever interested, come to one of the chapter meetings. It's really low key. And they're usually awesome conversations led by Jay. So way to go. You want to talk about this? You want me to?
She's in Somerville.
What was it?
Laura's in Somerville.
Okay. So many of you already know the amazing Laura is taking a new opportunity and moving on and expanding her world to run and grow the family business with her father. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to miss her tremendously. I remember the first day that she started. And when we were going through the hiring process, she was massively interested in real estate, growing, and she's done everything and more that we've asked of her. She's been an amazing, amazing part of the KW Charleston family. We're going to miss her dearly, but we are so excited for her next steps. So when you see her around the Market Center, her last day is May 31st. When you see her around the Market Center in this last week or so, make sure to give her big hugs, say congratulations, and wish her the very best. So from the bottom of my heart, we'll miss you. You're a rock star, and wishing her all the best. So let's give her a hand. With that said, if you know any awesome people,
Hiring a few.
send them to Kristen, because we're looking to fill some really big shoes and to be on our leadership team as the agent services coordinator, both here and in Mount Pleasant, and an assistant team leader, so that you never have to hear me talk again. That's so exciting, you know? That went over.
Too soon, too soon.
That was devastating.
no worries.
Are you coming this? All right. What's coming up?
But seriously, an assistant team leader, if you know any rock stars that can help us continue to grow, consult, dive into our culture and that emulate our culture already and will make our place even better, send them my way if you're looking for an awesome partner. So, and I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry. Some probably won't be able to.
All right, let's see if this actually works today. I tested it this morning, so let's hope. So there's a message from Elizabeth Anderson. Okay, good. In the Mount Pleasant office.
Do I need to mute here?
Yes.
besides the asana, the physical poses. Those include breath control, compassion, meditation, self-care, non-attachment, and so much more. Yoga is a lot more than the physical shapes than just you make. That being said, I would love to begin a 10-minute a day Zoom journey with any members of Keller Williams that would like to join. Those 10 minutes will include, but won't be limited to, tips and stretches for your hands, neck, shoulders, hips, back, calming breath techniques, gratitude sessions, meditations, things to help you calm your stress levels and anxiety levels as you move through your busy days. You can be wearing whatever you'll be wearing for the day, so there's no yoga or exercise gear needed. Just a few minutes to set your day off in the best direction. So I'll be sending out a survey very soon. If you're at all interested, please click on the link and answer this one question survey asking what time of the day would work best for you. It's just one question, so click the link. The 10-minute sessions would go Monday through Thursday, and I hope to start them sometime in the latter May. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to discuss anything that you might want to talk about regarding this. And my contact information is in MLS. I have business cards in the training room at Mount Pleasant for this meeting that you can take as well. And in the Mount Pleasant office, my office is located by the kitchen as well if you want to pop in and ask me any questions at any time about yoga or real estate. Again, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.
Great.
Let's give her a hand. So who knows Elizabeth? She's a rock star. She's Anton's pretty much keeper and director of operations. And this is something that we've talked a lot lately about how hard it has been and about recovery, the need for recovery. This is something that Elizabeth is passionate about, and she wanted to take this on, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely dive in.
Oh, gosh, sorry.
First time with technology.
Yeah. Joseph.
Broker minute.
All right, go ahead, go to the next slide. Nope, there we go. All right, so write these dates down.
Oh.
I know you guys have heard there's a change coming in the contracts. Effective June 13th, so we're gonna have 3 opportunities. We're gonna go through the changes in detail again. On the 2nd, we're having that one in the Mount Pleasant Market Center. On the 6th will be virtual, and then on the 9th will be right here in this room. The exact same classes, so whatever one is most convenient for you to go to. It's not a different topic. We just want to make sure that we all know it out. So that being said, 2 quick pop quiz questions. What's changing about the contract?
Due diligence.
Due diligence.
It's only going to have due diligence. What's changing about the due diligence process? Nothing. It's the exact same due diligence process that we've had for many years. It's just the only option that we have. 2 things that I'm hearing a lot of already that we need to go ahead and address. No, it is not recommended by our brokerage or our attorney that we collect any checks at ratification for a termination fee. The termination fee is collected when the buyer wants to terminate and turned into the seller or listing agent in time. It is not something that we're going to be holding ahead of time. You can't do it as an agent. We don't have any desire to do it as a brokerage. Most of the attorneys are not going to do it because it's written out to the seller. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Number 2, there's not a required amount for a termination fee. It can be 0. I'm not saying it will be. Yet there are a lot of people that are saying, well, the new rule says you have to put a number here. You do not. It can be 0. And believe it or not, there are some situations where that will happen. Any quick questions about that? Yes.
Do you have a recommendation for clients that do not live here and do not have checkbooks?
Venmo or any other sort of electronic payment can be made to the seller. Yes.
Can that money also be part of earnest money too? Like it can be used that way from a disbursement?
Technically,
perspective?
as the contract is written, no, because the termination only happens when you turn in the termination.
Repeat that question.
So the question was, can you use the earnest money to go towards the termination fee? Conceptually, yes, but how it's written, in order for the termination to actually be valid, it has to, you have to have handed a check. Now, there's probably some logistical things that we could walk through on that, sending the release with the earnest money going back and forth, that sort of thing. But that's only if you have time. If it's in the 11th hour or the day of, they need to turn in the check. Yeah, Tony.
So contractually, you have to deliver the
Yeah,
money.
they have to,
prior
the
the
check has to be
execution.
delivered to the listed, whatever the delivery notice is on the contract.
Okay, so has the Realtor Association issued any guidance in terms of recommendations for termination fees?
No, and they won't.
Repeat that
Yeah,
question.
The question was, is there any guidance on what termination fees would be? From the association, no. We'll talk more about this, but in the short term, if you've got a 2-week due diligence, think about what 2 weeks worth of carrying costs are on the property. Right? You know, it'll start there. It's gonna become a negotiation. And that's start to settle on that. Anything else? All right, one last quick thing, broker related.
Yeah, this is
We brought this up yesterday. This is a hot topic right now. There are many sellers and or agents and or builders that are offering commission rates that you may not agree with. So what? Don't talk about that in group settings on Facebook. We are going to be talking about how we can negotiate to get paid by our buyers if we want to, but the discussion of how much someone is offering for commission is 100% not to be talked about, particularly in group settings. Even if you simply make a comment on someone's post about commissions that in any way, shape, or form agrees with that, you will be absolutely roped in should someone start to pursue that. This is not, I don't mean to sound like Debbie Downer. These lawsuits are happening. So if you're in a group discussion about commissions, get out, get out quickly. So that also is saying, when I send you a text of a screenshot that says, hey, please delete this, I'm not trying to micromanage you. You're welcome to leave it up there, but don't name me in a lawsuit. And again, the Department of Justice is just, they're not joking around with this. I'm not saying it's right, but it is the law. So that's all I got.
Right.
Good man.
the good news from Joseph.
Yeah, I know. Other than that, how did you enjoy the play this weekend?
Awesome. So there's a luxury class on the calendar. They told me I had to speed through this, so I get to keep talking. The luxury class is on Friday, the 20th from 12 to 2. It's the mindset of luxury. It's on the calendar, CES class. Zoom links in there if you want to register for it. We also have wealth building Wednesday, should say that. Tracking your net worth is May 25th, and that's gonna be in the Mount Pleasant office. Winnie's been leading those. Last month was cryptocurrency. This one is tracking your net worth. Do you want to add anything to that?
This is a huge topic. So, I mean, if you don't know how to track your numbers, this is just another aspect of tracking your numbers and knowing where you are. It's pretty much, it's very difficult to know that you're gonna hit your goal if you don't know where you are, right? And these network trackers and this whole concept is an awesome one from the standpoint of building wealth. To get there.
Okay. And then we have June CES already on the calendar. One to kind of keep in mind is the profit through personalities. This is going to be more disc-based. So if you enjoy those classes, keep an eye on that one. MREI and Systematize Your Legion. So those are on the calendar, and I'll let that take it away.
Awesome. All right. Let's get Kristen.
Kristen, unshare. Unshare.
So
Unshare
we
and turn
have
it on.
one last 20 minutes. We have the amazing Jan Snook. Let's give her a hand. So Jan, for those that don't know Jan's a top agent over in our Mount Pleasant office. And we had the awesome opportunity to sit down in Savannah for a couple of days and listen to some of the top minds in both the Carolinas region and the Southeast region. And it was awesome. So we're gonna kind of just share our ahas. Where are you going?
This way, next to the chairs.
We're gonna share our ahas about that and just kind of have a fun conversation around what we learned and some of the things that you can now implement in your business. And a lot of it, it's gonna be around mindset. Funny how that works.
I feel
Get your notes
judged.
ready.
I was looking straight.
No, I'm saying turn off the screen.
Is this business easy?
Yeah. No, I know that's what's true.
Simple.
Is it simple? It's simpler rather than easy. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes.
Is it in constant change?
Especially
Always,
now.
always. So here we are again, looking at a shift. And Joseph mentioned to me several months ago that I should go to this mega agent summit that was being held in Savannah. And I said, okay. And then I looked at who was speaking and I said, I'm sorry, I paid my money. I wish I were not going. I don't want to take the time out in May when we're really, really busy to go and do this particular job. I was not excited. So when I got there on Monday night and I started meeting people and talking with people, I realized how much I was going to enjoy it because it was a smaller group. It was going to be about 300 to 350 people, not tens of thousands. It was also the fact that there were not a lot of people there from our market center. So.
And you were excited to see me, of course.
Absolutely.
Just want to make sure we got
On
that.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
So what it did is it provided me an opportunity to meet with other people where when we go to mega camp or when we go to family reunion, all too often we tend to hang with the people we know and we don't have the opportunity to get to know the people we don't know. We'll pull a whole table together, a group of us will sit together rather than sitting apart. So this was a wonderful experience. And it started with Bo McKitty. How many of y'all are familiar with Bo McKitty? He is an amazing man, he and his wife, and they run an amazing practice out of the Washington, DC area. Listen to him speak and talk about the things that were important to him were a lot of fun. If you didn't go for any other reason, there were enough takeaways from this man for you to take home and live a rich life. So I thought I would go through each of the speakers and give you one or two ahas that I think will enrich your lives as you go forward in this strong market, okay? So Bo McKitty's theme, what his statement is transforming lives, careers, and communities through real estate. Does that match up with what you do in your life? Are you transforming lives, communities, and careers through real estate? You are.
Every day.
You're doing a great job.
I'm doing better.
These two are like.
So let your
weirdest combo
talent
of people. It's
shine. Be the best that you can be each day. Is real estate easy? Is it simple? Not always. So you've got to remember that and take that with a grain of salt. So Bo started in 2004 as a part-time agent. He wasn't full-time. He didn't know if he could make it in real estate. So now I'm going to challenge you to look him up and get the rest of his story. I think that you will enjoy it. So he said the principles for what the model is, you trade time and talent for money. So what you want to do is you want to get to where your money is working as hard for you as your talent is.
Yeah, and you also talked a lot about that concept of linear growth versus.
You talk about that part, I'm gonna draw the draft.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, you do that. I'll move over here. So I think a lot of us, and Jan's gonna draw this picture, and it really shows kind of this concept of gradually, not suddenly. And
Move that over when she's done.
yeah, gradually, not suddenly. And we work real hard. We don't see any progress. And then what do? At times we just quit or we give up. And it's usually at that moment that breakthrough happens and we have an exponential increase in our business or our growth. And as long as we didn't quit, and as long as we didn't give up, that's when we get to take advantage of that aspect of growth. And because we always think linearly about growth, that it's just this straight line up. That is not the case whatsoever. It's usually a lot of failure, right? First, I heard a new one on fear, right? First, or on fail. what was it? Fear, first attempt in learning. No, that's fail. I wrote it wrong on my board, I just realized. Because I was thinking about fear. But first attempt in learning, that's fail, right? And when we get to this point, if we give up, then we truly did fail, right? So you want to talk through this?
Yes. So what Bo said is that you're putting in all this effort at the front end. You're trying to figure out your brand. You're trying to figure out your sphere. You're trying to track everything. You're trying to work hard. And so you're going year after year after year after year, and it feels as if there isn't forward progress. However, there's more forward progress than you realize. When I started in real estate, my first year, I sold one home. And I considered myself fortunate. However, if I had given up at that point, I never would have found the success and the joy, which is greater than the success, with what I have now and what I'm enabled to do. And even coming and speaking to y'all about not failing, except to move forward. You fail to move forward because that's the experience that actually helps you to grow and understand what is or isn't working. It's not really failure. So you have to figure out your purpose in life so that you can find the reason that you're working hard. The deeper your goals, the deeper your foundation needs, the bigger your goals, the deeper your foundations need to be in order for that growth to work. So how many of y'all see yourself somewhere along this line? Does anybody want to admit where they are on this line?
Like I would say as we're building something, we're progressing, we're getting there, we're moving that way. It's feeling a little bit like it's not on an upward trajectory, but we'll get there.
So what happens in this, she's right, this is the way we all feel generally about our business or about our market center. It's where we are, we feel like that we are here. And sometimes we turn around only to realize that we are closer to this and that this is now beginning to be a possibility.
Gradually, then suddenly.
So with the joining of the two market centers, when we talk about that, right now, it feels like we are somewhere along this trajectory. However, with the leadership team that is working through things, we can see the sunlight.
Put that.
Wait till you see the car.
Oh, gosh.
What a bad hair. So we know that we are headed in the right direction. Are there going to be some setbacks? Absolutely. Are we going to continue moving forward and learning from those? Absolutely. And we are closer to this than I think most of us on the teams and in the market center realize. We still feel like we're here. I know y'all must feel like that you've had a loss with Vinny and Joseph being shared with us. Yeah. And I can appreciate that very much. And I appreciate your tolerance with trying to get us all together. Thank you very, very, very much. Because I think it's the right thing to do. So we feel like we're here. We're probably closer to here. And we know that this is the direction we're going. And that was a lot of what Bo McKinney talked about.
And I love that. And one of the things also, Maggie, we'll put you on the spot for half a second. What is E2P?
Entrepreneurial but purposeful.
And to be purposeful, I heard this, and I thought it was the easiest explanation of what it really means to be purposeful. It's doing what's not natural. It's doing the things that make us feel as if we're still here, but it's the only way to break through from being entrepreneurial to being purposeful and getting new results, right? And that's what we're all doing every day, which is really a fun thing. So you want to go to Dusty real quick before we go to the coffee bean story?
Yeah, let's go to Dusty. Okay, so Dusty was the second person. This was the other reason that I was not excited about going down to this conference. I did not want to go to a map sales pitch, and I did not want to go to a bold sales pitch. Y'all were all laughing. Y'all feel the same way. So Dusty Oglesby, who, by the way, is from Texas, in case y'all didn't know, and he actually has a twin brother named Rusty. Can that be true that they're from Texas? I mean, really, guys. Here we'd be Ashley and Lowndes, right? So, they're Dusty and Rusty. So I had to laugh. And he talked about the new bowl. Well, you can see me, I'm sitting next to Vinny and I just give him this look like, here we go.
Mm.
It was great. It was great because what he talked about was the fact that they need to change both. That the needs for agents at different levels, the needs for agents at different levels are very different. Duh. Okay, and if you're a brand new agent and you go into bold as it had been, it was overwhelming. It was like, whoa, you're eating from a fire hose. How are you supposed to put all this stuff together? So they are now going to break it down into different levels for different communities, for small teams, for big teams, for mega teams, for people that are 1 or 2, for those that are trying to grow a team. So bold is going to be different. They're working on these concepts right now, and they would like to have input. So if you have some input for him, reach out and send them, or if you have a favorite bold person that you talked to from before, be sure that you reach out and let them know what you think your needs are. And I appreciated the fact that they were willing to make a change. So I told this little story.
That's a powerful.
This is powerful.
Keep going.
And y'all will now know why I did not go to art.
Until you see a car.
It's a race car.
Yeah.
Looks like a sombrero.
Sombrero.
Got a shooting gallery.
So Dusty had a friend in high school,
Can you like show?
and if you've ever been to Texas, you know that those roads are wide open. You know, there is a lot of space, and he grew up in rural Texas, in case you couldn't tell when you listened to him. And he had a friend that was driving down the road in high school, and he hit the power pole, and it killed him. And Dusty thought, what happened? Why did that happen? So he went out and he measured the power pole. Do y'all have any idea how wide a power pole is?
18 inches.
I would say 18 inches in diameter. I think that's about right. They may be 24. They're tall, they're skinny. We all know that. He went out and measured the distance to the next power pole and to the last power pole. 478 feet. Why did his friend hit the power pole?
There's a bold wall. There's a bold wall. Too many beers.
What you focus on.
Both of
You
those.
focused
those
on the
are
power
excellent.
pole.
What you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. What was his friend focused on?
The power pole.
Not the road.
What did he see?
Purple.
He saw the power pole. He couldn't focus on the wide open space. He couldn't focus on his future. All he saw was the pole, and it was a head-on crash. What do we do in real estate? Where is our focus? What are we focusing on? What are you focusing on? Vinny is focusing on the wide open spaces. He's focusing on the potential of you and of the office. He is not looking at the power pole. We're going through a shift. Everybody realize that? Everybody's felt it. It's a little stressful again. However, it's wonderful. Don't focus on the past. Don't focus on your power pole. Focus on these wide open spaces of opportunity. This one is listings. This one is buyers. Where's your focus? The new bold is out there to help you find your focus. And I think you're going to find it dynamite. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to be worth taking? I really believe so, because I believe that the new information that they're coming up with is going to help you take your business to the next level. So then we ended up with lunch, which was sandwich meats.
I didn't like the lunch.
I
I think that's a telephone pole.
didn't- There we go. So then Jim Talbot came and he was the head of research for KWRI on their economic research. And there are a series of slides. Kristen, do you have them?
I do have them.
We'll send them out in the.
We can send them
Recap.
out to you in the recap so that you will have those slides. If you're a numerical person, you will want to look at them. If you have any questions, please call because they are of benefit. And you actually will want to share some of them about inventory and about price and about where the interest rates are with some of your clients. So you may want to download some of those slides in order to help you present why it's fine to pay 6% on interest rather than 24% on your credit card. Okay, all right. So next one was when we got to this guy, and this was one of the ones that I told Vinny, I said, Vinny, this guy is coming in and he's been in prison. What does he know about real estate? Why would the keynote speaker be someone who'd been in prison?
Because he knows about coffee beans.
Yeah, he does. He does. He does. And I probably should have brought you a coffee bean.
So let's go, why don't you tell the story of the coffee bean? We're gonna go about 7 minutes over, if that's okay with you. You're gonna wanna listen to this, because this has changed the way that I've looked at a lot of things over the last 5-6 days for sure. Why don't you tell the story first of Damon West
Okay.
and of the egg, the carrot,
And
and the coffee bean.
Damon West, another Texan, was raised in an affluent family. He was a quarterback.
He was a quarterback. Yeah, he was a starting quarterback on a college down in Texas, an amazing upbringing, a great life.
Great life. However, he managed to get involved in drugs.
Bad.
And in order to support
Drugs are bad.
his family,
Don't do drugs.
in order to support his family, he decided that
This is a dare
the best way
program.
to do it was to break into his friends' parents' houses and steal their stuff.
You know, when they're home, I mean.
No, he did not. He's resourceful. So he was resourceful, he
Smart.
was careful. However, he did get caught.
Hmm.
And they sent him to a jury, insisted on a trial. Jury, fine. The trial took 2 days. The sentencing took,
10 minutes? That's not good for a defendant.
no, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
In that 10 minutes, the foreman of the jury sent a note to the judge and asked if they could sentence him to life in prison. Now you can see this guy, he's 20, 21. He jumped up and he said, "Why are you sending me to prison? I didn't kill anybody." They sentenced him to 68 years. That's a long time.
It's bad.
If you know anybody who's ever been to
Yeah,
prison,
Bad
one day,
felony and selling a whole lot of
Stuff.
stuff,
Bad.
bad drugs. 67, 68.
before he went to prison, he was in a holding cell before they took him off to prison. And I love this part, guys, because y'all can tell I'm a mom. His parents went in to speak to him. And his mother looked at him and said, "Damon, you did the crime, you do the time." He said, "But Mom, I didn't kill anybody. You know, I was just supporting my drug habit. I'll get clean." She said, "I'm sure you will." She said, "And not only do you owe society, you owe me and your father. And in order, what I'm asking for from you, while you're in prison, no gangs and no tattoos." What do you do when you go to prison?
Well, I've never
Join a
been,
gang
but-
and get
But you go join a gang, you have to get a tattoo to show you're part of the gang.
Yeah.
So he didn't,
He didn't.
but he met Mr. Jackson.
He met Mr. Jackson within the first few weeks, and Mr. Jackson was always happy. He was an elderly black gentleman who had been sentenced to prison for life. Yet Mr. Jackson was the happiest person in the world. And he said, finally asked him, he said, Mr. Jackson, what is your key to happiness in here? You don't belong to the gang. You don't have any tattoos. I know you've been in fights. What in the world is going on? He said, I'm going to tell you, when you go to prison and in life, you've got 3 choices. Pretend that it is a bucket of boiling water and you drop in a carrot. What happens?
What happens to the carrot?
It's
Oh,
all.
it's
It
It's
melts.
soft.
It gets
Goes in
soft.
hard, comes out soft.
So it cooks. It's a mess. So what happens when you put in an egg?
It's
So then
hard.
something gets hard.
It
Goes
goes
in hard, yeah.
Goes in
On the
soft.
outside.
Hard outside, mushy inside, everything gets hard.
Everything gets hard.
Love is long.
So,
Don't be an egg. Don't be a carrot.
so what happens when you put the coffee bean into hot water?
It grows.
What happens?
Something else is going on.
What happens to the wood?
What happens to the water?
Changes.
temperature?
Changes to coffee. So the smallest of all 3 just completely changed
The flavor.
The
the
water that it's
environment and the water that it went into.
So he decided that he had those 3 choices, and Damon decided that he would be the coffee bean. He would change the way that he looked at things, and he would be the coffee. He would make the water change, not himself. 10 years into his 67 years, 68 years of sentencing, the parole board calls him and said, the prison has asked us to consider you for parole because of the way that you have adjusted and you have changed the environment in this, it was a class 5 prison.
It's the worst one you can go to.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
It's
High security, like maximum security.
maximum
prison.
security prison. He had changed the environment in his prison by being the coffee bean, by being the catalyst in that environment.
And one of the things he really talked about was this concept of when you, it's energy. It's all about energy. When you put the right energy out there and you change the water around you, you attract more coffee beans, which was the protection mechanism for him in the prison, right? And there are 5 concepts to be a coffee bean. I've started to put them in my life.
Yep. So he gave us 5 rules to be a coffee bean.
I'll work over here.
Well, you have the speaker. You can't go too far away. Okay, all right. So don't go too far. So the number 1 rule, you may want to write these down because these are really important, and I think it could help make you be the coffee bean in your life. Work out every day, spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Yes. You are what you eat was one of the things that he said, right? And it's not just about the concept of working out physically. It has to be your mind too. So I thought that was a really important piece of the puzzle.
It is, because the way you view every day when you get up and walk out the door and greet people and meet people, it makes a difference in the way they respond to you. You are already the coffee bean by the time you wake up. Are you gonna make good coffee or bad coffee?
Good.
Okay.
Number 2, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
Number 2 was the secret to life, he called it. And he said it was interesting because I learned the secret to life in a maximum security prison. So it was kind of odd that this would be the secret of life. And he said it was all about serving others and being humble.
So I think you already have that mastered. If you're in real estate, you already have a servant's heart. You already are willing to help people and help them through all of the things that go on in the biggest purchase in their life. So that to me, y'all got, check, number 2. Number 3, 4 things you control in life. What you think, what you say, what you feel, and what you do.
And what you do is so important because that's the one that everybody sees. Everything else that we control is between our ears. That's why we talk so much about mindset. Because if you get your mind right, everything else becomes easier. And then you can figure out what you do based on the way that you think about the issues at hand, right? So this is a really important thing, but because I bet all of us get stressed about the things we can't control in real estate. But if we can think differently about those issues, and then we can help our clients think differently about those issues, now we start to have a little bit more control.
Absolutely. So number 4 is your past doesn't define your future.
I like this one because he said, if I just spent however many years in maximum security, 11 years in maximum security prison and was sentenced to 67 years or whatever it was, and I'm sitting here on a stage talking to you. So clearly that doesn't define you, your past, but your past is what?
Equals lessons. It equals the lessons that you've learned that you make positive for you. And your present is your gift. Today is your gift. And your future equals your motivation. What do you want to achieve in the future that you can work on today in your gift of today? Who can you do a random act of kindness for today and say thank you that you may have just walked past? What are you going to schedule for your motivation and move forward for your future?
And we miss sometimes, we run so fast, we forget that today is a gift. Every one of us in this room woke up today. That's a beautiful start. That's a gift. And now we get to determine what we do with that gift. And when you start to think about it in those terms, now all those other 3 principles, especially the one about being a servant leader, all come together and it really makes sense. Today is a gift.
So number 5 is it all starts with a smile. It all starts with a smile. And energy is in our body and in our body language. Think how you respond to people that are dour or that don't smile at you versus how you respond to people that do smile at you and have a kind word. Those are wonderful things for you to have as your gift to other people every single day.
When you walk into a room, you can completely change the dynamic of that room with a smile. It's the most fascinating
What
thing.
he did today when he walked in, right?
Well, I also look goofy. It is so powerful. Has anybody read Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss?
Yeah.
A great book. He was a hostage negotiator, but one of the things that he talks about in that book is that 70% of communication comes from body language. It's a really high percentage, right? And it's when you smile, it becomes almost impossible for somebody not to smile back. Even in a maximum security prison, and they don't have a lot to be happy about. It's unbelievable. So if we take these principles that this guy took and went on to live a really big life after making some pretty sizable errors, he failed pretty solid. And if he didn't change the way that he looked at everything, he probably would still be sitting in, right? And now he's on stages and writing books with people like John Gordon. You know John Gordon, The Energy Bus. He wrote The Energy Bus, right? And then he went on to write a book called The Coffee Bean and another book called The Locker Room, which we're going to give away, but I forgot it's in my office.
Oh,
But neither. But we'll give it away. But anything else before we end up?
I expect all of y'all to be the coffee bean, and whether or not you realize it, you are. It's just, are you gonna make a good cup of coffee or a bad cup of coffee? I think y'all are quality material, and I think you're gonna make great choices and make great differences, not just in the world you live in, the world of real estate, which is where we have chosen to make our professions. Is it simple? Sometimes. Is it easy? No. So be a coffee bean and go forward, and thank y'all very much for letting me come and talk to you.
Give away The Locker Room book that he wrote with his partner. And the way that we're going to give it away is we're going to ask a question about the millionaire real estate agent.
Just waiting.
Everybody but Maggie.
Maggie, I already got your book. And it's from me.
Oh, because I didn't win anyway.
Because you're not going to be included there because you don't know the answer. You're smarter than me. So
I feel oppressed.
you get 2 books. All right, so
A book and a coffee.
Who can tell me? Let's see.
Do you want me to text you a really hard one?
No, we're gonna go with the, all right. What page number?
Oh,
No way.
66.
128.
128.
The first hand that goes up, that can tell me what the 4 models in the MREA are, go. That's all you can
Everyone
do.
that's in that book club.
Right,
have their hand
everybody
up
has-
right now.
Economic, see now I'm on pressure.
Don't help them. Economic,
Somebody else.
economic,
Just went
you
blank.
can do it. Economics, what's the answer to
budget,
everything?
economic, you do every day.
That's
I'm
the
not
one
sitting
thing,
just
should you
blank.
choose to do, and everything else becomes easier or
What's the
unnecessary.
answer to everything in KW?
Lead
Lead generation.
And then lastly,
Yeah, organization.
all right. All right, you guys are awesome. Humble to be in business with you. Jan, thank you so much.
Thank
Always
you.
fun to hang with you.
And I'm
Let's give her a
going to be
hand.
in business with y'all.